All right, access to sufficient amount of safe food is key to sustaining life and promoting good health. We join the world as the world marks a World Health Day, a World Health Safety Day, Food Safety Day, as we look at ensuring better health through safer foods. This morning in the studio I have Amaka Obigwe. Amaka Obigwe is a dietitian, Food Safety and Hygiene Unit, Anambra State Ministry of Health. You're welcome to the studio.
Good morning, thank you.
All right, we also have Humphrey Emmanuel Akam, Principal Consumer Education Officer, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Good to have you in the studio.
Thank you. Good morning, Anambra.
All right, before we move on, let's quickly bring you a 4-minute feature on what we are talking about this morning, food safety.
Health is wealth, they say, but how well do we maintain our health through what we eat? How do traders prevent the edible commodities that they sell to consumers from being contaminated? To satisfy our curiosity, the Good Morning Anambra team visited the popular Ekorka market to find out the activities of traders on this. Our first observation was that consumables such as meat, smoked fish, gari and lots more are usually exposed because according to the sellers, that's the best way to attract customers. Some traders who spoke to us agreed on the dangers of exposing these consumables, but said not exposing the wares will lead to lack of patronage by customers.
Even the work we have can the customer when we care for cording. Mama didn't
Even the work we can
To prevent some diseases that may emanate from contamination, some of the traders recommended that customers should always wash their foodstuff with salt and water before consuming them.
So that customer golia no or limuna milisanya of
fruits from the market or before the intestine. It needs to be well washed from source, direct from the source. Well washed at the farm, well washed the retail, the wholesale, down to the consumers. Any did now, such as all these fruits and vegetables and crops.
If you know the very or the neat or the zubo China, patch of laying, they could cheer off Mamma can I man and I say I'm married when they hear. So I na patch of laying, I na.
Other respondents advised traders to cover their goods with transparent cellophane or waterproof materials, especially for the safety of their customers, while appealing to government and the agencies involved in ensuring the safety of consumers to monitor traders and their activities.
Masalo hygiene ndi mmadụ maka ọ na-adị mkpa ụmụ ọhịa anaghị nowadays ọ n'ihe oriri ka a na-ebutekarị ya ihe a na-etinye n'ọnụ garị ma enwere ma fruits ma crops, they are always open in the market and ọdụlọ mma for hygiene. Abịa n'ụmụ ihe ndị a etu esi wee nyetụ aka akwesịrị na-ekpuchi ihe ndị a na-ele onye bịa gụọ enwekwuo n'olileanya na ọ dị ọcha ọ dị happy that na onye nwe hygiene na ọ dị ọcha n'ihe ọ na-ele ogoli ya with olileanya na onwelo ihe oyi ebute ihe ọjọọ ma ọhịa ya esi na ya wee bịakwutele ya
onye go ihe nya welu mmiri ọkụ saa anya ọfụma dịka ndị na-ego azụ onye ya chọọ ime gara ọrapụ mmiri ọkụ ọsụọ mmiri ọkụ nya mmiri ọkụ asụọ ọfụma mana anyị nwa bụ ndị na-elekwa ele anyị ga na-preserve na-edozi ya ọfụma na-ekpuchi ihe olili anyị na-eli dịka ndị na-ele gara kwesịrị ịdị na-akọva akọva mana ndị gọọmenti kwesịkwara ịdị na-abata afịa n'afọ ihe na-eme na-enyekwa ndị mmadụ advice were aka ọ bụrụ izite mmadụ maka na enwe ike zite mmadụ abịa enye bribe apụọ ayara eneta anya ọkwa ịfụrụ so uche anyị ya adị ya ka anyị nwa bụ ndị na-eli na-akpachapụ anya ndị na-ele ele sokwa na-akpachapụ anya.
right, that's a 4-minute feature there, anchored by Chinyere Oreke of Good Morning Anambra. And in the studio, like I told you, I have Amaka Obigu and Humphrey Emmanuel Akam. Amaka, let me begin with you. Ladies first. With what we've just watched, what's your assessment of the level of safety with regards to food in this part of the world?
Thank you for that question. Regarding to the part of this world, and most especially here in Anambra, the food safety, it's not well observed and it's not well done. If you go around to the community where food are being processed, where food are being prepared, you see that the whole place is messed up and their packaging system is nothing to write home. Let's take, for instance, if you go to the streets, those selling oppa, they use nylon to tie it, and there's a chemical effect to that, because once you use that nylon, there's a chemical used in producing that nylon that is toxin to the human body. And once it's being heated, the chemical leaches out into the moi, and at the end of the day, we consume it. And it's cancerogenous, and it has a negative effect. And at the end of the day, it causes foodborne illness, which might be deadly. So, and so many other places. There's a place down there where food is being sold, and close by, there's a waste bin. So looking at that, we still have a very long way to go in food safety. But I believe with this year campaign and what we put in place to ensure that we have a safety food for a better health, I believe that this year's campaign for safety food for health will have a long way in combating those issues. Thank you.
All right, could you explain to us what food safety actually is?
When we talk of food safety, we talk of the processes involved from the production of food, handling, storage, to the table where the consumer takes it in. Now, in this, for a food to be safe, starting from the farm to the production side to this distribution chain I mentioned, the producer one should be neat. The handlers should be neat. Storage also, you consider every food has its own temperature. It should be stored. If it is not done that way, there is a possibility of contamination. For instance, if you come to production sites, the environment should be neat, because if the environment is not neat, the food is exposed to germs. The people handling the food also should be neat. When you go around, most times when we go on inspection, things we see baffle us a lot. Sometimes you see people handling food, they will not cover their mouth, they will not cover their hair. Some of them, especially the ladies, we have their nails uncut with painting and the rest of them, handling what people will eat. And most of this food leave that place directly to the consumer's stomach. Then what happens if it is not well prepared? Also, when you go to market to buy food, there are certain stages you need to know. One, there's something we call separation. Separation in the sense that there are food that are not supposed to be mixed together. If you buy meat, for instance, you are not supposed to mix it, to package meat with another food, because the blood coming from, or let me say juice coming from the meat, might contaminate the other one. Then vegetables, you are not expected to use the chopping mat you use in cutting meat for vegetable. Away from that, you also need to cook properly. You need to cook properly. I know this part of the world is undeveloped to the level of knowing when meat is well cooked. Because if it were to be Western world, there is something we call the this is it thermometer or something like that that used to check when when a food is well cooked. But here, you just also all base it on the color. If it has changed color, it is well cooked, or if you test it, it's okay. That's okay. It's an improvised method of knowing when food is done or not. But the most important thing is to keep neat. You that is handling the food should be neat, and you know what to do at regular intervals so that that meat or food will not be contaminated. If you do that, that is when we say at least up to 85–90% that the food is safe.
All right, at this point, why is it really important that we talk about food safety today?
It's important to talk about food safety because so many people are ignorant about food safety. Because you go to the street, people see things, buy and eat without knowing the effect that which they consume will cost for them. You see people on the road, they will buy things, they don't wash their hands and start eating. So at the end of the day, what happened? Bacteria sets in. Bacterial infection sets in, and before you know it, they go to the hospital. So it's important for everyone to know the benefits of safety food, because there's a saying that goes that you are what you eat, and what you eat is you. If you want to have a healthy life, a healthy living, just like the person that was just interviewed in the 4-minute clip says, that most of the ailments we are suffering from today is from what we eat. Like I was told then that cancer is never part of Africa, but nowadays so many women die of cancer, and it's as a result of chemicals we consume. Not packaging things with the right packaging container can also result as insecurity in food. Just like I said initially, people using nylon to tie things instead of normal banana leaf to substitute for it. So food safety is very important from the crash.
All right, before we go any further, this issue of using a nylon to tie or to cook or moi moi, is it possible that there could be a law to address that particular, because it's rampant, it's everywhere. Even there was a woman I pleaded with. She used to bring her to her office then in Onitsha. She comes early in the morning. I keep pleading with her, please stop using this. Let me bring this thing from my house for you. But she keep doing it. So is it possible that a law could be made to prosecute people that do that, or to confiscate those things from them?
Yes. Though we are still working on it, but what we want to do first is to sensitize them, because so many of these people are ignorant of the health effect, health implication that might cause to them. So what we have on pipeline now is to train them, sensitize them, and create awareness. Because once you create awareness and the populace get to know the effect, once they see someone selling with nylon, they won't buy. Rather, they will go to the person selling with leaf, which is better off. So, and a law will be put in place very soon on that.
Okay, now, okay, you want to say something? No. All right, as we look at the ensuring better health through safer foods, which we are joining the whole world to commemorate the World Food Safety Day, what do you think are the effects of unsafe food on humans?
The effect of unsafe food on humans are very, very much. Because, one, it will reduce the economy of the state. Economy of the state, I mean, the people that are supposed to be the workforce of the state or the country, when they consume this food that is not safe for them, if the people get ill, then it's affecting the production index of the state. It will also affect every other. From that, it will now spread to so many others. People will be dying. Then age limits the longevity of the human being will not be reduced. Because this thing keep piling up. When we eat, most times, like the African ideology, or rather this part of the world, when we say it doesn't kill, not knowing that this thing comes into our system, then stays there and keep developing. Just like the nylon she mentioned, the effect of it is very bad. We talk of free radicals in these nylons and other things that we eat. We won't know what is causing. It will now go into our system and register. At a stage, you see the person developing one element or the other. And when you go to hospital, you will be taking medicine. When you leave, you still go to eat that same thing that is causing that ailment. Then you see that the financial implication, your pockets will be drying up, your health will be drying up, and the people that are depending on you for survival will not be getting what they need to be getting. Then on the part of the production of the state or country, you see that what that person is supposed to be doing to help the growth of that country, he or she will not be there because of the ailment caused by a consumption of food that is unsafe. So it's something we need to tackle headlong to see how it will be solved.
All right, it's still good morning, Anambra, ensuring better health through safer foods as the world marks 2022 World Food Safety Day. Let's take a short break. The program will return after now. To join us again.
Great news for Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS audience. You can now watch ABS television through any of these ways.
Buy a terrestrial antenna and connect to your television. Search ABS Channel 24 Oka or ABS Channel 27 Onitsha. Install StarTimes cable decoder and search ABS Channel 113. Install Metro Digital cable decoder and search ABS Channel 29.
Watch ABS TV on your smart TV or smartphone by downloading Anambra Broadcasting Service app on Google Play Store. Also watch via ABS Facebook page at ABS Radio Television and ABS YouTube page at ABS Television Oka.
ABS TV is now also on satellite. You can watch us from anywhere in Nigeria and other African countries. Simply install our TV decoder brand and tune to channel 315 or install any free-to-air satellite decoder and search for ABS TV.
Whichever option you choose, stay abreast of breaking news, documentaries, children's shows, talk shows, comedy, sports, movies, and lots more on your darling TV station.
For adverts and program sponsorship, contact 0803-388-8526 or 0806-883-9902.
ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
onye go ihe nya welu mmiri ọkụ saa anya ọfụma dịka ndị na-ego azụ onye ye chọọ ime gara ọ rapụ mmiri ọkụ ọsụọ mmiri ọkụ nya mmiri ọkụ asụ ọfụma mana anyị nwa bụ ndị na-elekwa ele anyị ga na-preserve na-edozi ya ọfụma na-ekpuchi ihe olili anyị na-eli dịka ndị na-ele garị kwesịrị ịdị na-akọva ya akọva ịghọta mana ndị gọọmenti kwesịkwara ịdị na-abata afịa na-afụ ihe na-eme na-enyekwa ndị mmadụ advice were aka ba bụrụ izite mmadụ maka na enwe ike izite mmadụ abịa enye bribe apụọ ayara eneta anya ọkwa ịfụrụ so uche anyị ya adị ya ka anyị nwa bụ ndị na-eli eli na-akpachapụ anya ndị na-ele ele sokwa na-akpachapụ anya
ọ dị ezigbo mkpa na ndị na-ele afịa n'ebe ọbụla atọ ebe ọbụla kwesịrị na ha na-enebanye anya n'afịa ha na-azụ gbasara hygiene ndị mmadụ maka ọ na-adị mkpa ụmụ ọhịa anaghị nowadays adịrọ ọ n'ihe oriri ka a na-ebutekarị ya ihe a na-etinye n'ọnụ other fruits ekwesịrị na-asị ya constantly igote ya ọ na-adị mkpa onye gote fruits from the market ọ saa ya before olie
ndụmọdụ na-enyebe nwoke ma kpachapụrụ ihe a na-ele anya dobe azụ ọfụma ka o wee dị maka ọ ga mmadụ golie olie ka ọ ghara isi ahụ na-agwa nne ego ha kpachapụ anya ma ọ bụrụ na ha lụọ n'abịa ma malụ nke ba ya egote mgba nke ba ya egote ọ dịbe ha ụwa ka ba ya egote nke ahụ ahụ ịra na akpa ha nwere ike rafịa m nwa na-emekwu ya bịa gara ebe ọ dị iseki ebe dị n'ime onye ahụ eje ebe ahụ ngolo ahịa
ebe a na-eri ya na-eri eri kwesịrị na-adị ezigbo ọcha ekwesịrị na-egbuchi with nylon like ebe a na-egbu anụ kwesịrị na-adị ọcha ada eme ihe mmadụ na-eri n'ihe ahụ maka ahụike anyị gọọmenti dị ọha ọdụ tinye ha ndụmọdụ enye ha enidiri nkọwara ha na-ekwenụ mkpa ọ dị maka ahụike ndị mmadụ na ahụike ha nwakwu maka ha nwasị eri ya
anyị I put those things. I make sure I sacha of my with na mili. Then on the process of cooking, I see how of my sima is my sure no year of my before I BW those things. Say le higher bomb, but hane made the thing, hane make on a bedocha. Then hane make body of man. Now such a those things. Then at the end, I cover very well.
If government can provide something like showcases, in short, good containers that where those people selling gari and all those will put it, so that flies and other things will not enter it. Without that, there's nothing we can do about it.
All right, we've heard the voice of the people talk about what they think is important to be done so that we enjoy food safety in this part of the world. Some of them talked about covering the fruits in the market. And that brings us to what we earlier saw in that 4-minute video, that most of the fruits in that market, most of them were open. And it's like a culture in most of our markets down here, that when you go to the market, most of the foods are open. So I don't know if there is anything your office is doing to enlighten these women, to go to them from time to time, to let them know the need to do otherwise, or to change their style of displaying goods so that we will increase our lifespan via safety of our food.
Well, what we have in plan for this year, most especially the market women, in terms of the way they expose their food, which will amount to harm to the consumers. We planned training of the market women, going to the markets, creating awareness, sensitizing them on the need for safety food. And also, once in a while, go back to the market to checkmate if they're actually implementing what we taught them about safety of food. So I believe in due time, they will come to comply. Though it's not an easy task, but I believe if we keep pushing and doing the right thing, in our own part, doing the right thing by making sure that law is being enforced. And if possible, if after the whole training and those women still continue in their practice, which they believe is a normal thing, I believe penalty might be set. Because our people down here always abide by the law when you use the hard means. Once you use that means, they will obey. But I don't want us to get to that stage. But with what we have at hand, I believe there will be change, most especially from the market women, those that hawk things on the street. So with that plan, I believe we'll have a better and safer food for health.
All right. No, I don't know.
I just want to add to that.
Okay.
Because the question is if there's a way of stopping it.
Yeah.
From our office, the FCCPC, we try most times to be proactive. Like last week, we were in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, and we met with so many market unions. We met with market women organizations, and we talked about this. We advised them on the importance of covering this food, especially the gari, because why it's important is that you see people display gari by the roadside. So when a vehicle passes, it will send dust to it and other things. So they promised us they will do what is needful to that effect. We visited the three senatorial zones of Ebonyi State. We're in Abakaliki, we're in Eza, and we're in Afikpo. We did the sensitization very, very much. And away from that, here in Anambra, we visited bakeries to make sure that before bread leaves the bakery, it is covered. And also to make sure that the people that are preparing this bread are neat. Because if you need, just like Madam said, that you are what you eat and what you eat is you. So what you put in will define who you are to an extent when it comes to health issue. So just an addition to that we are doing what is needed of us.
Do you think are the challenges we can face, or you people can face, you know, in trying to impose these laws or trying to enlighten these women in carrying out food safety in this part of the world?
The only thing that is a challenge there is ignorance. To my own understanding, is ignorance, because when you try to sensitize them on the importance of covering this, so many of them will see it as you're making them not to display their goods enough so that it will attract customers. But they don't know that if everybody will do that, customers coming will now have confidence in what they're buying, have confidence also on the sellers. So the challenge there is for them to understand that what we're saying is important, that what we're saying is real, that we are also trying to safeguard the life of that person who is a seller, because today you're selling this, you leave what you're selling to still go and buy what you need from some other place. So if it is not well prepared, if it's not well covered, you are endangering your life.
All right. We saw smoked fish in that video, which I know that when we buy smoked fish from the market, it's not washed. You know, you just use them to split it and put inside food. And so many other things that you can't wash actually, like gari, you cannot wash it. You know, what do you think, what are your suggestions for people watching us? Maybe somebody that is selling it, what do you think the person can actually do so that those fishes, look at it, you know, when somebody buys it, the person is safe?
Okay. What I would advise the sellers, like the video clip we just watched, you know, she was saying that if she doesn't display it, if she doesn't open it, how can buyers see what she's selling? So we always advise, if she can get a transparent nylon to cover it, once you cover it, that fly that perches on it, one was saying, hey, if she buys, you can take it home and wash it with salt. But hygiene starts, just like my brother says, food safety starts even from the farm, from the processing, from the transportation, from the storage, from the seller, the buyer, the way you prepare it to the person that consumes it. So if they can get a nylon, covers it, anybody that passes is transparent, the person can see. At least it prevents flies from perching on it. And also the gari seller that leaves it open saying that my gari is neat, you know, you cannot ascertain that food is contaminated by being clean. A clean food can be contaminated because some of these pathogens, you cannot see them with your eyes. So I suggest that these gari sellers can use a cap to display what they sell. The buyer can come, check the gari the way it is, then you open, sell. After selling, you close it up. At least that way it helps a long way in safeguarding the food of the populace.
All right, let's look at the theme of this year's celebration, which says safer food, better health. You know, does it really mean that most of the sicknesses or ailments we suffer here are as a result of insecure food?
To an extent, it is true. Because if you go back down history, you know now, before now, our forefathers lived up to 90, 100 and thereabout. Now the question I keep asking myself is, why is it that if you go around the town, you see burial posters 40, 38, the highest, if you see 50, 60, they say, he tried or she tried. Why? What's the brain behind it? Now, for me, it's attributed to what we eat. We no longer eat safe food. Everything now is just, we depend on all these canned foods and the natural ones we buy. Because of the process, because the food is contaminated, we eat it and feel we are healthy. And that's why you see most of our children these days, they look bloated. And sometimes you think they are healthy. Most of us are not healthy. Even apart from the way we look, most of us are not healthy, because some people you see now, they will tell you they are eating well. But little exercise, you see the person panting. If you go to hospitals, you see a good number of people lying on the beds, the sick beds. Now the problem, like I said earlier, you see that doctors will be administering drug on them. People will still be bringing food to them, food that is contaminated. So the doctor keep treating, and the cause of the ailment keep coming. So really, it's a very big issue. Now to add to what she was trying to say, or rather what she said, while we were in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, as I mentioned earlier, we talked to these fish sellers, and one of them said that if you use nylon to cover fish, because of heat, the fish will start to decay. So I thought of it, I said, yes, it's possible, because it's a fish. So if you cover it with a nylon, there's a possibility that it will start to decay, depending on the number of, the period of time it has stayed. And I now proposed that you get something like a cat burrow, something covered burrow with net, build it like a cat, so put net around it and put your fish. By then, by that way, air will be coming in, so flies will not have a way of entering. But this ones will display like this. Bet me, if you go around the town and pick from at least 4 or 5 people, if you look at it very well, you see that you must see maggots deposited by flies on this fish. So for people that don't wash their own, you take it like that, take it home, then like you said, use your hands to open it and put in what you eat. And you also know that either economic issue that will make somebody not to have kerosene at a certain point, or gas at a certain point, or someone that's not using electric cooker, they may not be aware of cooking something. So the person brings smoked fish and just get a soup, either whatever, put it and start to eat. So tomorrow, something bad is already deposited. So the person gets ill and go to hospital. What happens? Something you bought with 50 naira, for instance, you use thousands of naira to treat yourself, and it doesn't end there. So what we are saying, if there's a way everybody will be conscientized to know that this process is worth following keenly to make sure that what we eat is neat, we will have a problem. I was discussing with my colleague last week in the office. I said I was hungry. He said, they sell food outside. Go and get food and eat. I said, have you forgotten what I told you the previous day? I had problem last month because I ate outside just 3 times. Just 3 times I ate outside and I had problems. So I had to go to hospital. So me, I can stay from morning till night without eating as long as I'm outside. If I'm not sure of what I'm going to eat, I can go hungry to make sure that my health is okay for me.
All right, for want of time, from all our discussions or our chats here, it's agreed, or there is a finding that this is a difficult task to get our people to understand that we need to cover our foods while we are selling. What's the way forward? How do we go about this to ensure safer food for better health for all?
Well, the way forward, food safety has to do with everyone. We all have to come together, put our hands together to make sure it works. Leaving it alone for the government, I don't think it will work. Everybody have to come together to make it work. And if we come together and we agree together, it will work. So let's come together to see we achieve this food safety we are talking about for better health.
All right.
The issue is just what he said, that sensitization, everybody will understand that it is the right thing. And I want to tell Anambra and every other person out there that as a consumer, you have right to satisfaction of basic needs. You have right to safety, you have right to good health, you have right to good environment. So if all these things are observed, we will live long.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today as we looked at ensuring better health through safer foods in our environment. I would like to appreciate Amaka Obigwe, a dietitian, Food Safety and Hygiene Unit, Anambra State Ministry of Health. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you also Humphrey Emmanuel Akam, Principal Consumer Education Officer of Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
And this is where we wrap up the show for this morning. Thank you. My name is Nonya Nwokwe. Let's do this again tomorrow. Bye for now.